Somewhere I Belong, Chapter 13, Part 3. Right, one question. How do I get it on and off? Is there a zipper in the back or something? Oh, that's easy. There's a zipper near the neck. Isaac watched as the mare pulled the zipper down her midsection, revealing her golden cleavage. The man felt his face heat up and his member become hard. Spitfire's face instantly went red as her brain clicked at what she just did. A snide smile then spread across her face. Oh, you're good. What? He asked as the mare walked up to him, taking long strides with her hips. Oh, don't play dumb with me, Sarge. I've seen how you look at me when you think I'm not looking, she said as she pulled her arms through the outfit, revealing her ample golden breasts. Isaac tried to back up, but found that the desk was blocking his escape. Look, Spitfire, you're very attractive, but... He was cut off as the mare started to massage his stiff member. Wow, I haven't been this fired up in a while, she said as she removed the rest of her outfit. As your captain, I am giving you a direct order, she said as she unbuttoned Isaac's pants. What if someone walks in and... So what? She said as she removed his shirt and forced him down against the desk. I just remembered something. What? He asked as the mare crawled on top of him. We still haven't tested your endurance, she said with a sly grin. Spitfire positioned herself over the man's fully erect shaft. The mare let out a gasp as she lowered herself onto the tip of the phallus. Isaac let out a moan as he felt the mare's soaking wet slit envelop his stiff member. Oh, sweet Celestia, she said as she pressed her lips against his. Isaac wrapped his hands around the mare's back and started to massage her wings. The mare cried out in ecstasy as she felt the man's fingers rub her stiff wings. Oh, fuck, she said as she slowly started to slide herself up and down the man's shaft, lubricating it. Oh, God, Isaac said as he started to match her rhythm. The mare cried out in pleasure as she sat up, taking the rod deeper within herself. Isaac started to massage her breasts in a circular motion. Keep going, that's in order, she breathed out between moans. Yeah, here's the thing, Spit, he said as he started to sit up. I hate taking orders. With one quick motion, he reversed their positions on the desk and started to pound into her. Spitfire was going crazy. She enjoyed sex when she was the dominant one, but when she was dominated, she loved it. Oh, my Luna, she breathed out as the man started to make his motions more fluid and swift. Let's see how flexible you are. Isaac took each of the mare's muscular legs and spread them apart. The mare bit her lip as she felt her muscles being strained and pleasured at the same time. Spitfire could feel the burning fire growing in her loins, starting to peak. Isaac felt the mare's walls starting to grip around his stiff member. The human smirked and pulled himself out of the mare. Don't, she whined. What? Couldn't catch that, he said in a teasing tone. I need you inside me. I'm so close, she yelled. Isaac smirked. What's the magic word? Please, she yelled. Isaac smiled and plunged his rod into the mare's waiting folds. Spitfire cried out in passion as she felt the man's rod hit her back wall. I'm coming, she yelled as she wrapped her arms and legs around the man's body. Isaac felt her walls clamp on his cock like a vice. Isaac continued to quicken his pace as he felt the mare's juices flow onto his shaft. Harder, she yelled. Isaac felt a familiar pressure building up inside his body. Spit, I'm gonna... Keep going, she moaned. Isaac thrusted harder and faster than before until he released inside of her. The mare let out a cry of passion as she felt the man's juices flow into her. Isaac felt his muscles contract and relax. The golden mare wrapped her arms around his neck and brought him into a kiss. Isaac returned the gesture and probed his tongue inside her lips. That was amazing, she said as he slid out of her. Likewise, he said as he caught his breath. I can honestly say I've never had sex at 20,000 feet before. We're actually at 35,000 feet, she said as she started to put her uniform back on. Even better, he said as he put his clothes back on. Listen, I understand if you don't want me to talk about this with anyone. You're a celebrity, after all. Doesn't matter to me, so long as you don't get all obnoxious about it, she said as she zipped her uniform back up. Relax, I'm not like that, he said with a smile. Oh, right, before I forget, she said as she opened a drawer and pulled out a golden badge with a Wonderbolt insignia on it. That's your badge. Ponies will recognize you as an honorary Wonderbolt. Congratulations, she said with a smile. Thank you, he said as he shook her hand. Don't mention it. Just one question. The mare looked at him as he pulled the uniform out of the navy blue gym bag. What about the wing space? I don't have wings, so it would look kinda silly, he said as he pointed to the costume. Each suit is enchanted to fit the owner's body. It'll adapt once you put it on, so the wing space will probably disappear, she said as Isaac put the suit in the bag. That's handy, he said with a smile. He put the badge in his pocket. The two walked out of the office and made their way outside. Isaac looked at his phone and saw that it was late in the afternoon. I should probably get back. The others are probably getting worried about me. Want a lift? She asked as she outstretched her hand. The man nodded and took a hold of the mare's arm as she took flight towards the small town. Back in the small town, Rarity and the other girls were sitting outside Sugar Cube Corner. Twilight was nose deep in the book Isaac had given her, while the other girls were small-talking. Rarity had a disappointed look in her eyes as she looked at her friends. Please, Twilight, Rarity whined in a pleading manner. Sorry, Rarity, but I just got to... The lavender mare took a moment to glance at the book she received from the man. The Egyptians, and I am not stopping, she said as she returned to her book. Fluttershy, please? She asked with a smile. Sorry, Rarity, but the bunny I'm looking after could have her babies any day, and I have to be there for her. Sorry, she said in a timid tone. It's all right, darling. Rainbow? Applejack? No way, no how, the farmer said as she shook her head. Why didn't you ask Spot? She was cut off as Twilight's horn flared and turned her mouth into a zipper. The mare shook her head with a worried look in her eyes. The mare made the zipper vanish. Okay, never mind. Thank you, Twilight, Rarity said as she let out a sigh. I still need to find a +1 for the event. Do you know anyone who I could go with? The mares gave it some thought until Rainbow perked up. Look, Rares, a date isn't gonna come falling out of the sky just because you have some fancy art show to go to, she said with a sigh. I'll have you know that several brilliant painters will be there, not to mention Twitchy Tail, Pinky yelled as her tail started to shake. The ponies immediately ducked under the table and looked towards the sky. Wait, Twitchy Tail, achy knees, and floppy ear, she said as she got to her feet. What? What's gonna fall? Applejack said as she panicked. Not what? Who? Incoming! The mares looked up to see Isaac falling from the sky with a parachute coming from his backpack. The mares looked at him in shock as he landed in front of them. The parachute landed behind him, and he held a clenched fist raised. Still got it. The mares quickly rushed over to him as he started to fold the parachute up and packed it into the bag. What were you doing? Twilight yelled. I can tell you what I wasn't doing. I wasn't trying to recreate one of the best stunts from the James Bond films, he said with a smile. What? Never mind, he said as he continued to pack up the parachute. Where were you today? Rainbow asked. Isaac froze as he remembered the day. I was hanging out with Spitfire and I brought the parachute in case I fell off a cloud, he said it with a sigh. The mares looked at him in shock, while Rainbow was fuming. She grabbed the man's shirt and started to shake him. Why didn't you invite me? She yelled as she let go of the man. Easy there, Dash, AJ interjected. So what did you and Spitfire do? She asked as they sat down at the table. We just hung out, shot the breeze, stuff like that. He lied. What did she want to talk about? Twilight asked. I mostly asked about the Wonderbolts, flying, that sort of thing, he said in a flat tone. Did you mention me? Dash asked in enthusiasm. No, you didn't come up at all. The mare hung her head in disappointment. Well, if you need me, I'll be heading home. It's been a long day and I'm bushed, he said as he yawned and got to his feet. Rarity's eyes lit up at a realization. Isaac, wait. The human looked back at the mare, who had a smile on her face. There's an art show in Manhattan that I would just love to go to. I was wondering if you'd like to go with me, she said with a smile. What, like a date? The mare blushed at the statement. No, just a social engagement that is no fun to go to alone, she said in a flat tone. Everyone else is too busy, she whined. Isaac thought for a moment and shrugged. Fine, only on one condition, he said in a stern tone. What? I get to wear what I want to wear. The mare's right eye twitched. Relax. I own 2 suits that look good. I'll bring those. Rarity bit her lip and thought for a moment. Very well. Be at the train station tomorrow at 8 o'clock, she said with a smile. I'll be there, he said with a wave, as he continued on his way. Rarity looked back at her friends with a smile on her face. Isaac walked into his home and threw his bag on the couch, and made his way upstairs. When he got to his room, he climbed out of the window and walked up to the chimney that had a bright blue gym bag hanging from it. He opened the bag and saw that the suit and other items were in there. He took a moment to look towards the sky and let out a sigh. Hey, Spit, can you drop this bag off on my roof for me? He said as the two stopped on a cloud just above the town. Why? She asked in confusion. If Rainbow sees this stuff, she's gonna flip, and I am way too tired to deal with that right now, he said as he handed her the bag. How are you going to get down? The old-fashioned way, he said as he jumped off the cloud and pulled the parachute cord, making the parachute erupt from the bag and slowing his descent. Isaac snapped back to reality and went back inside his house. He quickly withdrew a jet black suit with a red tie and a white shirt, along with a navy blue jacket and a silver tie. He packed them in a bag and threw a few more items back inside. The human laid on his bed and closed his eyes as he felt the day's activities take their tolls.